Welcome to This Week in Jacksonville Business Edition. I'm Kent Justice. So EcoWatch.com says this: the U.S. has one of the best climates for solar power in the world and is home to some of the best solar companies and manufacturers. For homeowners who are looking for clean energy solutions and big savings, solar power is utterly essential. The benefits of solar power go beyond just saving money on your energy bills. You can take complete control of your electricity use and energy efficiency, reducing or even eliminating reliance on utility companies. Even more impactful, you can directly lower greenhouse gas emissions and your reliance on fossil fuels, which provides a number of tangible environmental benefits. Okay, that's the big quote. We are looking into solar power today, and our guest is Marshall Hastings from Florida Power and Light. Marshall, great to get to meet you today. And so you specialize here in clean energy solutions that FPL is currently developing. Why don't we start there? What are some of the investments FPL is making in solar energy in Northeast Florida?
Yeah, we're making investments in solar energy centers, not only in Northeast Florida, but throughout the state of Florida. Solar's the most cost-effective source of new power generation that we can invest in on behalf of our customers. It helps us provide reliable energy for our customers, all while keeping bills as low as possible.
All right, so as we talk through this, there's a concept that somebody who's been, paying the electric bill for 40 years now, I think of solar, oh boy, I got to put panels on my house, all of this. So we're going to talk about how some things are changing. Technology is changing here. But why don't we start here with solar fields and how they may benefit communities?
Sure, there's obviously great benefits for the entire state of Florida with solar energy centers that we're investing in, and many other utilities are as well. There's zero fuel sources of energy. Our sites coexist with the natural environment. We plant pollinators that allows local wildlife to move freely to continue to use the site, and we use wildlife-friendly fencing as well to allow animals to continue to access the site. We've seen great results, photos throughout our state with panthers, deer, raccoons coming and going from the site. So they're coexisting. All the while, from the community benefit, we're providing thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in annual tax revenue, growing the local tax base for these counties. That's funds these counties can use for infrastructure improvements, school, emergency services. So on top of the great benefits for our customers, there's a number of great benefits for the environment, the state, and our neighbors.
So I'm thinking about, hey, I'm driving across the northern part of the state on Interstate 10. Oh, is that a solar field over there? I mean, what do these look like, and is it all rural areas that we're looking at, or how does this work?
It's primarily in rural areas. Our sites are about 300 to 400 acres, but keep in mind that's not 100% solar panel. As we are developing our sites, we're looking at the area which we're building. We're looking for areas that are nearby existing infrastructure, existing transmission lines, so we can quickly get that energy out onto the energy grid for our customers. And we're building spots that are also coexisting, like we said, with the natural environment, and also working around it. There's protected habitats, protected wetlands. We're factoring that into every single one of our sites so that it's benefiting our customers, but it's also still helping out the environment.
Marshall, it sounds like you've touched on this a little bit, but why are solar farms becoming increasingly popular, I guess, sources of energy for utilities like FPL and others?
Sure. I mean, you look across the state and we are continuing to see more and more customers come to the state of Florida, and for good reason. It's a great place to live. As a utility, we have to then think long-term. It's not just about providing reliable energy for our customers today, but it's also providing reliable energy for the customers that come to our state in the years to come. And so investing in solar being the most cost-effective source of power generation, it allows us to continue to deliver the reliable energy that our customers come to expect every single day.
Build that out just a little bit, or break it down, I guess. Why is it the lowest cost or low-cost source of energy? Why is it efficient in that regard?
Just based off the economics of building a solar energy center as opposed to literally building any other source of power generation, whether that's natural gas, coal, nuclear, solar, with all of the advancements in technology that have come as it relates to solar, it's become the most cost effective. You look at our sites when we started in 2009, we're using the same, if not a little bit less amount of space and delivering 3 times the amount of energy at the same exact spot. You look at the number of panels we're using.
And why is that?
Just because the technology is improved.
Yeah.
I mean, A couple years ago, we would use fixed panels, and they just face the same way, and that's just capturing the sun throughout the day. Today, we use tracking technology, which means the panels go from east to west. If you go out there at 9 a.m., they're facing east. If you go out there at 5 p.m., they're facing west. So it's increasing the efficiency of the site, which allows us to continue to bring reliable energy for our customers, and that's why it's the most cost-effective now.
So I'm picturing this. That was a pretty good word picture there. Yeah, I'm picturing this, so I'm looking directly at that sun throughout the day. I'm capturing as much as I can of that energy that's coming my way.
Exactly.
Help explain this. So there's a FPL Solar Together Community Solar Program.
Yeah.
Tell us what this is, and then maybe help us understand what it means in Jacksonville or other places that are near us.
So Solar Together is a voluntary subscription program that allows our customers that maybe can't or don't have the opportunity to invest in rooftop solar to still experience the benefits of solar energy, both environmentally and financially, without having to install a single panel on their roof. So we talk about people coming to the state of Florida. A lot of those folks, that's new apartment buildings that we're seeing, condos, townhouses. Those are shared roofs. You can't put a solar energy system on that roof for you as an individual customer. So by joining FPL Solar Together, you're able to still get those benefits that come from solar without having to install a single panel.
How does that work? How am I joining together,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, so we have what's called a community solar program, and there's solar sites throughout the state of Florida that are specifically a part of that community solar. So all of the generation from those sites, that goes into the credit that you receive if you were to subscribe. You're paying a fixed monthly fee that fits your budget. You can do as low as 1 kilowatt, which would be $6.76, all the way up to 100% of your energy usage. It's about 6 to 7, but it's all based off your usage over the past 12 months. You can move that number around. If you start out at $6.76, that's great. If you think, hey, we got a little bit more in the budget, you can bump up your subscription. Based off that subscription, though, you're getting credits back for all the energy that's developed from those solar energy centers. That credit grows not only based off that generation, but also by the term that you're in the program. So by year 4, you're consistently seeing credits that exceed your cost. And by year 7 of your enrollment in the program, you're 100% buyback or paid back into the program.
All right. I'm hearing that. I'm processing it.
It's a lot. I know it's a lot, but it's a great program for our customers.
Well, and again, as I talked about it kind of at the beginning of our episode here, the old model, oh boy, I'm going to have to install something. I'm going to have to lease it, or I'm going to have to decide, am I going to buy those panels? Is that still a possibility? Is that that old school method, is that still something that I can do as a homeowner?
Sure, absolutely. If that's something that fits your budget, that fits your opportunity because you do live or own the home that you live in, certainly rooftop solar is still an option for our customers, but in many cases it's not. It might not even be because they can't afford it, but it's just because they literally don't have a shed roof. I live in an apartment complex. I couldn't put solar on my roof, so it's an opportunity that previously just wouldn't have been there for our customers, and we see that benefit and we see the value for our customers that think, I really want to have the opportunity to support the growth of solar. We live in the Sunshine State. Yeah. We want to see more solar, but I can't. And that opens up that avenue for them. So
Marshall Hastings from FPL is our guest today. So yes, as I hear that, now it makes sense. Hey, I can still participate in the Solar Together program even if I'm not a homeowner, right? If I'm a renter, I can
Exactly.
do that.
Yeah, you might live in a home and you might be renting it out, and your landlord might just say, hey, it's not the right fit for us for whatever reason. You still open up that pathway. It also works for our small business customers. If you operate your business out of a shared space or you don't own the building, you can also participate in Solar Together to, again, help in the long run, help reduce your energy bills through the benefits of solar energy.
Yeah, so you mentioned bill credits and explained how some of that works. Is that something that's calculated as the customer? Is it something, hey, you guys will let me know how much I've used? I mean, I think that's probably the way it works.
That's it. And there's no change to how you get your electricity, right? You think, oh, I'm getting solar energy by being in the program. Nothing changes. You don't change how you get your power. Nothing changes to your meter. The only change that you'll see is on your energy bill. You have one line that says your Solar Together cost and another that says your credit. And all of that is coming from the energy generated at our sites. And again, it's escalating over time. So even if the energy generation doesn't change, that credit calculation does. So you're going to consistently see that rising to continue to meet and provide savings for our customers.
So the Solar Together program, is this something utilities across the nation are doing? Is this unique to what FPL is doing? How does this work in the industry?
Yeah, there are a couple other here in the state of Florida that I'm aware of that do have community solar programs. So it's not something that necessarily we are the lone ranger on by any means. But we've seen that not only here in the state, but I'm sure outside of it. There's a lot of people that have that desire, whether that's to get the savings of solar, but also just looking at opportunities that they can help grow solar in the state where that they live or here in the state of Florida.
So Florida Power and Light, FPL, we're talking about your program. Just to keep you up to date, we know this last week JEA announced 3 solar energy sites are going to be built in Jacksonville, and we know that these sites, they're expected to be producing energy by the end of 2026. JEA's Solar Concierge program, that's what they're calling it, to help people decide if solar is right for them. And so this is, again, in a different part of the company, you were telling me, NextEra is kind of connected to what JEA is doing. But again, we live in the sunshine state, so let's take advantage of what solar power can do, solar energy can do, right?
Absolutely. And again, I mean, it all goes back to not only are we doing because it's great opportunity to help out the environment, but for our customers, whether that's through our community solar sites and Solar Together, but also through our universal solar energy centers, that lowest possible cost investment is so important. It's so important for us to be able to continue to deliver reliable energy and keeping bills as low as we can for our customers.
All right. So, and obviously your perspective and what you're tasked with doing is helping promote solar energy. Are there some negatives? Are there some cons? Are there some challenges even that FPL is working through to try and help make sure that residential customers or small business customers, all of that, really get the best service?
Well, it's important for us at any part to work with our neighbors, our communities, and our counties, right? So whether that's through Solar Together, making sure that we have a dedicated customer service team that's there to help them should anything come up, any questions that come up. In terms of development, working with the counties. I mean, these are the folks that are going to be hand in hand with us on these projects for years to come. Getting the benefits, obviously, of the Solar Energy Center, the tax benefits that come from these sites, but also that energy generation that's going out to every single one of our customers throughout the state. So it's really important that we're partnering with everybody that we work with at FPL.
All right, let me give you a couple of dumb questions for you. You're the expert here. Here are the dumb questions. So, hey, we talk about the Sunshine State. Well, what if we have a month of really cloudy weather? I don't know. Are there some limitations to what solar energy can do?
Well, it's important for us to diversify our energy mix. So we're never going to be 100% solar. We still have a number of other generation sources that are incredibly reliable for our customers, not only in keeping the lights on, but also in keeping bills as low as possible. So it's important for us to diversify what we're using to create energy. It's also important to diversify where we're doing solar energy, right? We're not picking South Florida or Northeast Florida, the Panhandle, and saying, this is where we're doing it. We're looking at it throughout the state of Florida because, like you said, it could be raining. We had storms last weekend in the Panhandle, but it was sunny in South Florida.
Right.
And so that still allows us to deliver reliable energy to our customers because as soon as that energy is out on the grid, it's going to where our customers need it most. So it's all about diversifying not only how we're developing energy and generating energy, but also where we're doing it.
You know, and we hadn't talked about discussing this, but it just comes to mind. We're about to enter hurricane season.
Yeah.
Is there any advantage with solar farms and how they withstand tough weather like hurricanes, tropical storms, and what have you?
Yeah, look, everything that we do at Florida Power and Light, we have to consider storms, whether that's hurricanes or we're coming into summer where it's just going to be, 4 o'clock on the dot, we're going to get just torrential rain and high wind, right? So we have to consider severe weather in everything we do, and solar energy centers are no different. In fact, look back to Hurricane Ian, we're 2 years removed now almost. At the time that the storm came through, we had more than 12 million solar panels in the path of the storm. Less than 0.03% of them were impacted in any way, and that was from debris being blown into them.
Wow.
So they have to be able to withstand these types of severe weather.
The farms weren't blown away
Not at all.
by the high
Not
winds
at
or
all.
whatever.
No, because we have to consider, right? It's not a matter of if we're going to get a storm.
Right.
It's a matter of when the storm comes.
Right.
And because we're operating throughout the state, we could be getting that storm in any part of the state, right? The southwest portion of the state has really seen a lot of those recently, but that doesn't mean you let off your diligency, right, in Northeast Florida or in Pensacola or in West Palm Beach. It's all about building to be able to withstand those because not only is the restoration process after the storm important, getting lights back on, it's also important to be able to get the lights, the energy to them, right? So being able to have solar energy centers in every other part of our generation portfolio, being able to deliver energy after a storm is just as important.
Yeah, and you never really recognize how much you really appreciate
Sure.
the utility delivering to you until our power's out or the water's not, all of that when you go without, and then you say, boy, I'm really glad my utility company is taking care of us. This is really interesting, and I knew that it would be fascinating talking about solar energy and especially some of the advancements in technology and everything. Marshall Hastings from FPL, thanks for the time today.
Yeah, thanks, Ken.
If you have enjoyed this, we'd ask you to rate the podcast or refer other people to us. And just, we are constantly working to try and find more topics like this that are going to impress you and, again, focused on economic growth and development in our area. You're going to find more episodes right now, including on News4Jax Plus. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Jacksonville Business Edition.